Hello CRG, you wanted to know how I make text for my thumbnails? This is how I make text. After you've made your thumbnail image, whatever that is, I'm just going to use this picture of Yugioh just for the example. You're going to create a layer above your image, and you're going to create text. So, Brio is expensive is now my text. I'm going to make this larger. We'll go with 185. Doesn't really matter, just an example. Next, I'm going to right click and do alpha to selection. I'm going to grow the selection by, I don't know, 16, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to go to the layer underneath the text and fill it with black. So now this text is blending in, but now I'm going to shrink this layer by 2 and then fill it with white. So the text is now sitting on top of this black and white outline. So next I'm going to shrink it again. I'm going to pick a color I think makes sense to use, so I'm going to use this blue, I guess. Fill it with that, shrink it by another 2, fill it with black or white. Doesn't really matter, there's no real formula to this. I'm going to shrink, so I did black, I'm going to shrink it again by 2, then do blue again, and shrink it again by 2, and you can change the size that you shrink it. I don't know, there's no real pattern to what I'm doing. If you come up with a formula that makes sense for you, you do that. I'll do white again, and then I like to end on black for the last one, and there's no specific number of them to do either. I may have done more than I should, really. So now I have black here. So now here's what I've been doing lately that's a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the text layer, do alpha to selection. I'm going to hide the text layer. Then I'm going to go to the layer of all the background shading and colors we just put in, and I'm going to clear. So edit, clear, clearing that space. So that's now where the text is if it's not hidden, but it's no longer part of this background layer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to alpha to selection the text layer again. I'm going to create a new layer on top. Next I'm going to make a gradient. So that's this button here. It's a multiple color gradient, foreground to background. Just going to pick 2 colors that contrast somewhat with the background. So in this case, it's a light blue. It'll contrast with red and purple. Maybe not purple, might need a lighter color, like green. And then I'm going to use a gradient. There's a bunch of options for this. I'm not really doing anything specific. Just going to do this. This is the text now. And I'm going to go up here to mode, the layer mode, and I'm going to play around with it until it looks okay. So I'm going to try different features, dissolve, and lighten only here looks alright. The idea being that you can kind of see through it, and it's kind of legible, but there are some issues with this. Your text can sometimes be a little illegible, and it might make your thumbnail less attractive, or it could make it more attractive. So I'm just going to keep playing with these until it looks okay. Like, you kind of want hints through the text, but not so that it's illegible. So there's no perfect solution for this. You don't even have to do all this. Like, yeah, that looks okay. Let me keep playing with it a little more. There's no particular one that stands out as good. It seems that certain colors get better results than others. Sometimes the color changes because of the changing of the different layer modes. Nothing here has stood out as particularly great. I'm just going to go back to the beginning and try one more time to find one that's acceptable. And you can always change the color of the gradient that was put down. So like, this looks okay, but I think the green is blending too much with the blue, so maybe I'll change this green to an orange, and do red and orange, and then I'll select alpha to selection on that green and red gradient and try this again. Maybe it'll look better, and because I have the mode selected, I can already tell how it's going to look. And yeah, that's that. And one of the other things you can do is you could duplicate that layer. It has the same features, but now there's like 2 layers of it. So one of them can be on lighten only, and the other one can be something else. Until you get what you want to see. Maybe you'll get a better effect. Like there, you can't see anything through. Like this is very subtle. You can see through. Like it might stand out, but it might not. Because the letters are so contrasting, you can't really like misread this, even from a small size. You can read that is Brio is expensive, and you can see there's some kind of features going on there. So yeah, it's pretty much how I make the text for my thumbnails nowadays. I don't know, they look alright. Doesn't mean it's the way to do it though.